And the one thing they learned at camp that summer was that if you don't get to know anybody, how are you supposed to care about them?
Oh, that's very deep and insightful.
And then bloody horror.
You ready to talk some movies, Brennan?
Yeah, okay.
Well, let's go. Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth!
Hi, welcome to the Corrupted Youth Podcast. I'm Dan.
I'm Brennan.
And we're a father and son duo that explores the latest blockbusters, classic genre films, and the schlockiest of golden age VHS rental store flicks in spoiler-heavy fashion. We just had to bring some intensity because it's going to be a calm one.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Hey, it's Summer Slasher Camp 5.
Woo!
Starting a little late because you know what? Our schedules matter more than your want to listen.
Yeah.
We're busy. I got a new job. I work nights. Brennan, you work nights.
Yeah.
Which makes it hard. You'd think like, oh, we've got all the time in the world during the day where we could just get together and record. But it's not the way that any of this works.
Not how it works, no.
So we had a day off and our first day off in a long time together. So thank you for spending it with me, Brennan.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah. Well, before we get going, a couple of things we got to bring up besides Summer Slasher Camp. Summer Slasher Camp, for those who may not have heard a previous episode, normally it was picked by our listeners, the Dongles.
In the Dongle Den, R.I.P.
Yep, but we're not doing the Dongle Den anymore. We are on Blue Sky, but I was like, does anybody even know we're there? Do they really want to participate? So what we did is we're picking just movies we want to cover. We always do 3, one a month in the summer. And we're going to have a special guest this year to be revealed at whenever we can schedule that.
Yeah.
But we haven't put a whole lot of work into it. So
stay tuned.
Yes. And I picked this month's episode. Brennan, you'll get one, and then our guest will get one. Should be fun.
Lots.
It always is.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a nice way to get like the horror movies in there, the killings. But yes, unfortunately, and fortunately, I mean, I'm on recent episodes of Cinema Psyops. They're a show that's been very supportive of us over the years. And they're really awesome guys. Unfortunately, Matt has had a family medical emergency happen. So he hasn't been able to be on the show. And I've filled in on a couple episodes, helping Cord out. We love you guys. Hope everything works out. But it also happens to be he's covering Godzilla movies. So that's right up my alley.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to help out. I wish it was under better circumstances, but go check it out. I did Godzilla versus Megaguirus, and boy, the title of the other one. Brennan, you might be able to roll that one out.
Oh, what? Godzilla, Mothra, King Ghidorah, Giant Monsters, All Out Attack?
Yes, that one. I'm on those episodes, and probably going to be some more if he needs help, so best wishes to everybody there. Hope everything works out okay. On a happier note, Cinema Sketches, my new YouTube show. Go check it out. I draw stuff inspired by the movies that I watch. Sometimes it's directly from the movie, sometimes it's not. But it's also a way for me to talk about stuff that I normally wouldn't get to talk about on here. So it's kind of broadened the horizons a little bit for me, and a little chance to showcase some art.
Yeah, it's pretty chill. It's very awesome. Please go check it out.
Yes, and we need to figure out when we're going to do one together.
Yeah.
But that's coming along pretty good. It's okay. So, yeah, check it out. Do all the dumb like and subscribe things.
Hit the bell notification.
Yeah, all that junk.
Make sure to comment.
There'll be a link in the show notes.
Smash that like button.
Yeah. I mean, we have to ask them to do all those things, but it just feels cheap.
Studies have shown when you ask people to do that sort of stuff, they actually get more interaction. And specifically when you tell people to like crush that like button, like if you say that, then they're like, yeah,
Pummel that like button repeatedly with an axe.
boom, 15% more likes.
I might do one for this movie.
Yeah, you should.
And then still talk about this movie again.
Yeah.
What movie are we covering, Brennan?
In Evil Nature?
In a Violent Nature.
Yeah, I didn't remember the title.
Yeah, this was my pick.
Shudder original, is it not?
It is. First time viewing for you.
Yes.
Not for me. I've watched it a couple times already. And that's why I picked it. Because I was like, this is going to be good.
Yeah.
Because I almost wrote like a 5-page paper on this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was in the process. I just really haven't had the time. And I was like, maybe it would be better if I just yammer on about it with my son. Because people just don't like to read it. I don't know. Maybe somebody would want to read it. Maybe I'll.
Well, there's some nerds out there that like reading. For sure. Yeah.
Maybe I'll finish that off sometime.
You should.
Trailer machine. Gonna be hungry because I'm not playing a trailer for this because it's just music and noises.
Well, now we have defeated baby cattle.
That's fine. Oh, I'll go over the letterboxd info. So, In a Violent Nature from 2024 was directed by Chris Nash and written by him too as well. Let's see here. The synopsis goes as follows. The enigmatic resurrection, rampage, and retribution of an undead monster in a remote wilderness unleashes an iconic new killer after a locket is removed from a collapsed fire tower that entombed its rotting corpse.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That is a good one.
Let's see here. It stars Rye Barrett, Andrea Pavlovic.
Whoa.
I might as well just go through all these folks here because they're all kind of in it, and even though those are the two people we see the most of. Cameron Love, Reese Presley, Liam Leone, Charlotte Creeghan. I hope I pronounced that right. Oh my gosh, this one's crazy too. Leah Rose Sebastianis. Ooh, I probably just murdered that one. Sam Ralston, Alexander Oliver, Timothy Paul McCarthy. I'm not going to do just the voice actor kind of people, but then Lauren Marie Taylor. The only one who probably has any notable anything other than this movie, I suppose. But we'll get to her towards the end. All right. Ready to get into the rundown of this?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, we get the locket just hanging out on a pipe. And we hear some voices of some people talking. And the White Pine Slaughter gets mentioned. And then somebody decides to just snatch up that locket.
There will be no consequences to this action.
Man, I'm telling you, if I ever see a locket on a pole, anything, I'm just going to leave it.
Yeah.
Just leave it. Because, yeah, we get a bunch of cool squishy noises. And then the pole starts wiggling around a little bit. And then it just yeets from the ground. And then out of the ground, a man emerges. And so then he's all gross and
dirty.
Yeah, I mean, you would be if you were buried under the ground for who knows how long. And Yeah, then the thing people don't like about this movie, which doesn't bother me one bit, is the walking. Walking time. I'm going to just bring it up all the time.
Yeah, walking time.
And it's just like, kind of like just a shot of behind of this resurrected man walking through the woods.
It's great.
You get a lot of it.
Yeah, and it's awesome every time.
It makes me want to take a walk in the woods.
Yeah.
Has anybody just, are these people who don't like this stuff, have they never gone through a walk in the woods?
They can't comprehend the beauty of nature.
Apparently.
They want to see Michael Bay Transformers fight each other.
Well, so about all of this, I'm going to get into it later.
Mm-hmm.
And it's going to kind of was the point of that paper that I never finished.
Okay.
But maybe I'll save it for the end.
Yeah.
Then this man, he stumbles across a dead animal in a trap. There's some tree markers, and then there's a horn just a blaring in the distance.
Mm-hmm.
So he just starts walking towards that sound. And here we can hear it. You're not really able to see it because it's still in the distance, but you get an argument between a park ranger and the trapper man. And the park ranger's like, man, you got these traps all over the place. You got them in the park even. It's just a matter of time before you don't capture the right animal in one of these traps
Mm-hmm.
and it comes after you. Or
you capture a person.
yeah, and it's going to be a lot of trouble. And the guy's just like, whatever.
Rabble.
Yep. Definitely a lot of rabbling. This was filmed in Canada, but if it was filmed in the US, we definitely know who that guy voted for. And it wasn't a woman. So our man, well, we might as well just say who he is. It's Johnny. That's the
Good
title.
old Johnny.
That's the title of this guy, our undead guy. And you get to see a lot of the back of Johnny's head in this movie. And it's all messed up. But he takes a walk inside this trapper guy's house. And it's kind of funny because you see there's a lot of people coming out of places as he goes in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so inside the house, he's looking in a mirror and he happens to see behind him there's some type of locket or necklace hanging from a lamp. And as he stares at it in the mirror, he gets a flashback. And you don't get to see all of the man, but it's his dad telling him take this locket. It's that way your mom and I will be with you forever.
Yeah.
So there's definitely okay, you get it now.
Sentimental. He's attached to that locket.
Yes. Then the man comes in thinking it's the ranger and takes a shot at Johnny. And then when Johnny reveals himself, the guy's like, whoa!
Yeah,
what the heck? And then he decides to just leave.
And he's running away.
It's a very slow chase. He's an older man.
Yeah.
He's probably hammered too. And yeah, it's a very slow chase into the woods. And of course, that man.
Oh, yeah, I totally called it out too. As he's running away, I was like, well, I hope he runs into one of those traps he laid out. Yep. You just hear a snap in the distance and him screaming.
Yeah, and then Johnny walks up to him. And I like this guy's hat. It says another one motherfucker on it.
Yeah.
And you don't really get to see what happens. You don't get the actual violence in this part because Johnny goes back into the house and turns out it's not his locket. It's just a necklace that also says number one motherfucker on it.
Yeah.
That guy definitely had a theme.
Yeah. I love it though.
It's a commitment.
Yeah. That's some personality right there.
Right. And he definitely was a motherfucker. So
Yeah. Yeah.
probably the most swearing we've done on this show in a while.
Honestly.
Johnny walks into the night, and as he's walking through the woods, you get some noise and some headlights, and it's party people. So then he's like, I'm going to walk towards wherever they are.
Yeah, they gotta go.
And so then we get more walking. Then there's sound. It's I don't think it's shots, is it? Was it gunshots? I mean, you never really see it, or it's fireworks.
I think it might be gunshots because they did have a gun.
Oh yeah, that is true. Yeah, it's just a bunch of people hanging out around a campfire outside of a cabin. There's some weird tension arguments. Does it really matter? Because we don't know the whole story of what's happening here.
Yeah.
What are their motivations? What are their loves? What are their desires? Who are these people? We don't know. We're following the killer.
They also, I will say, at least together around this fire, kind of lame. If I was in this friend group, I wouldn't be in this friend group. They're not very fun.
Yeah, they're kind of not. And there's a reason, I think, that we don't find them fun. And that's part of my discussion. But, since they're around the campfire, people want to know about that white pine slaughter. And you know what? That's a campfire story. And as is tradition for Summer Slasher Camp, we're just going to play a clip of it.
You guys really want to hear it?
Yeah.
Come on, tell me the fucking story. Are you sure?
Yes, let's go.
Story.
Alright, buckle up. So like 70 years ago, everywhere 100 miles in every direction was leased out by this logging company. And everything was way more remote back then, so they would set up shops in the camp and sell shit like razors and soap to the loggers. But they would jack up the prices like a motherfucker. And Johnny's dad was the guy who ran these stores, and they hated him for it. And they used to take out their anger on Johnny. It all came to a head one day when one of the drunk loggers tripped and broke his ankle on one of Johnny's toy cars. He was out of work for months. They would blame Johnny for it, so they decided to teach him a lesson. They told Johnny they found a bag of toys, and then he should meet them at the old fire tower. So Johnny snuck out camp at night, and eager and keen and naive as he was, he climbed up the top of the tower, but there were no toys. Just one of the men in a creepy old firefighter's mask waiting to scare him, and he did. Johnny fell from the tower. His neck snapped as soon as it hit the ground. And the men freaked out, so they put one of the firefighter masks on him to make it look like he was playing up there by himself, and tripped and fell.
So are you saying that was the same fire tower from earlier?
Could be, hard to say. But when Johnny's dad found the body a day later, he knew those guys had something to do with it. So he confronted them in the mess hall, and a fight broke out. And when the dust settled, Johnny's dad was dead. And the guy that killed him claimed self-defense. And the company, not wanting any issues, made sure that no charges were laid.
Well, I mean, a dead father and son ain't really much of a slaughter, Aaron.
Well, that happened a week later.
Okay, so what happened next?
A couple of the execs from the company showed up to the camp, and every single person was dead. Huge fucking lumberjacks torn to pieces. After a healthy donation from the company, they paid off the widows, closed up shop, and the police ruled it as a poisoning from tainted meat. And they said a bunch of animals got in and tore up the bodies.
Wow. Thank you, Clip Machine.
Clip Machine doesn't make noises before it starts. It just goes.
Yeah.
Also, interestingly enough, because there's just a lot of conversation you don't really pay attention to with this, there was mention of 10 dead rangers. Also, that's a lot of rangers.
It's a lot of rangers.
I mean, normally, like, whenever I've gone camping deep in the woods, like, what do you get?
I can only pick off like 2 or 3.
We're never going to be allowed at a state park ever again. So then, the clearly annoying girl of the group, and I'm going to call them girls in this because, like, I don't know how old they're supposed to be.
They're younger. I'd say like early 20s. Maybe they're supposed to be early 20s.
Or teens, like when
Yeah.
you get like 30-year-olds that are teens, who knows?
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter.
Pod
But
didn't really seem to care.
no, it doesn't. It's very indifferent to them.
Yeah.
But she wants to take a group photo. And this whole time, Johnny's just been hanging out, watching them. And that's kind of what I like about this movie, too.
Yeah.
It's just him being around in the woods. Because isn't that the scariest thought? Is just somebody watching you
Right.
from the woods when
They
you
got
can't
no
see them.
idea.
And they have no idea. And later on in the movie, it is mentioned that he is in this photo.
I loved that too. Because when they're taking that photo, I was like, oh, he's probably going to be in there, isn't he?
Yeah, I was like, he better be in one of these photos, but we
Yeah.
never get to see the photo.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't know. Do we really know enough about these people? They're all pretty generic, except for like guy in wacky t-shirt with a Walkman, a tape Walkman.
Sounds pretty generic to me.
Right. he is the guy who tells the campfire story.
Yeah.
And then who else is there? Annoying girl.
Yeah.
We kind of pegged her right away.
Yeah. There's boyfriend and girlfriend.
Boyfriend and girlfriend. Then there's girl in metal shirt.
Girl in metal shirt, right?
And then generic dudes.
Yeah, generic dude. Yeah.
There's a
like
couple generic dudes.
Yeah.
There's kind of like jean jacket guy who's kind of an ass.
Yeah.
And then there's this like whatnot guy. I don't know. They're all like just you don't get to know any of these people.
Dead meat.
It is just set up as dead meat.
Yeah.
Because I don't think we really explained it, but the whole premise of this movie is you just follow the killer around.
Yeah. No normal people.
That's the premise of the movie. We're hanging out with the killer. It's Johnny's movie.
He's the star.
He really is the star, isn't he?
Yeah.
He goes to like a shed or something and grabs an old saw. I like how he just stands there for a while, observing everything on the wall that
taking his pick.
Which all of it could be used to murder any of these people. But Walkman guy, there's this whole thing like where they're talking about girls from a gas station.
Yeah.
And that he just is being pissy and wants to go meet him.
Yeah.
And he's like insisting like, no, I just need to take a shit or whatever. And really he's just going off to get high.
Right. Which could have been honest with that from the get-go.
Right. Well, they said it was like a 4-hour walk or something.
Yeah.
So yeah, he wouldn't go do that. You're just kind of being mean to him.
See, another reason I wouldn't hang out with these people. That's just not funny. Make a funny joke.
Yeah. But yeah. So he's hanging out by a tree. He can't hear Johnny sneaking up on him.
No one can.
Because he's got his Walkman headphones on. And then he gets that saw around the tree and he gets like from the mouth up sawed off.
Pretty awesome.
It is awesome.
Yeah.
It's a fun effect. There's some really fun effects in this movie. So then Johnny walks the corpse to the ranger station. And I love this breaking and entering that he does.
Yeah.
Because what does he do, Brun?
He just throws like the top half of dude's head through the window to get in. And then once he's inside and he's just kind of like milling about, he sees all the old logging equipment and stuff like on this little museum display, and he sees like the mask in there
from the story.
And to get the case open with that mask in, he just throws the dude's corpse right at the window. Just efficient, I guess. But yeah, this is also when we get to see him with that mask on for the first time.
It works. I like it.
It's great. It's pretty great.
It's something a little different.
Yeah. I love a good scary historical mask too. Very fun.
Yeah, and if nobody knows or isn't going to bother to look it up, it's just basically like a weird leather sack with these round goggles on it.
Mm-hmm. Big goggles.
Yeah, you can't see the eyes underneath. There's like a weird like I don't know, like metal mesh almost over it. Like, but it's like wide.
Yeah. It's weird. Almost kind of looks like an owl.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah, it's really creepy. It's great.
And inside the case there was what the drag hooks. Mm-hmm. So it's like two big massive hooks at the end of a chain, each end of a chain. There was an axe in there as well. So now that he's got it, he's all geared up. We get more walking. Then he's across like either it's like a river or like a small part of the lake. And he's just watching. There's the annoying girl and just whoever else, other generic girl, on a raft. And the one's like going swimming. There's some conversation between them. Sounds like they're a couple. Good for them.
They're like flirting. They're like just starting to like flirt and like kind of go after each other.
Again, there's probably more to this story.
Probably.
He decides that he's going to leave his axe in a stump. And then he just walks into the water slowly towards the raft.
Godzilla style. That's what Godzilla does at the end of like every movie.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. And he's just gone for a while. The annoying girl, she goes off. She's gonna go do yoga, and the girl's swimming, and we get the water nab, which all of this there's no music. Keep in mind there's no music. You see her get pulled under from across the lake, and then like it switches points of view to the raft side, where she just like pops up a couple times to cry out for help, and it's just silence, and it cuts through that silence, and it's disturbing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. They hold on a lot of things.
Because as long as it is, as loud as that is, there's nobody around to hear it. And it carries, but nobody comes to investigate to see what's happening. And then eventually, after like a couple times of popping up, the last time she pops up, not going
alive.
anywhere.
Not alive.
Then Johnny just walks out slowly and takes a stroll over to the yoga girl. Nice view.
Beautiful view.
I mean, this is the view that you actually see when you watch yoga videos on YouTube of somebody like, where are they? Where do they get into the woods here?
Yeah. I don't do yoga, but if I found myself right there, I'd probably hit a downward dog. You know, a little something.
It's just kind of like on a cliff.
Yeah.
Facing a hill.
Yeah.
In the distance.
Beautiful.
It is. Everywhere. Everything in this movie. Gorgeous scenery.
Absolutely.
They really knew how to film it too.
Definitely.
You wanna handle this one, Brennan?
This one's pretty fun. Because Johnny comes walking up and annoying girl's just doing yoga, and Johnny steps on like a twig or whatever. And without turning around, annoying girl's just like, oh, you're taking so long to show up. Like, I was wondering when you would show up or whatever. And she turns around and sees Johnny. She screams like you would, and she turns around to run away, but it's just like a sheer cliff face behind her. So she turns around again and just looks at Johnny. Doesn't even move or anything. Or yeah, she's facing away. Yeah, she's facing away, and then she just gets a whole fist through her back, out her stomach with like the hook. And then she turns around, gets another hook right in the top of her head. And then Johnny proceeds to pull the chain. So he pulls her head through the hole in her stomach and out the other side. Crazy stuff. And then he just kicks her off the cliff.
And you see that from a distance.
Yeah.
Too. So it feels just so impersonal.
Yeah.
It's great. I mean, that's probably one of the top ones in the movie. I wish it was set up a little better because it's kind of awkward.
Yeah.
It's just, I guess in reality, it's like when, sometimes a mass shooting occurs, not in America, but in other countries where they don't know how to process what's happening. They have no concept of it. So I think maybe that's part of it. It's just a weird shock.
I think just in general,
And
anytime you see something like that, yeah.
Just like a disbelief of like, I don't understand what this situation is.
Mm-hmm.
It does happen to people a lot. Like they just freeze.
All sorts of scenarios. Yeah, people just freeze right up.
I don't know what kind of name this yoga pose would have though.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't even think of anything funny right now. The in and out.
There's something good there. I'll think of something. It'll come to me.
Yeah. Later tonight.
Oh, I'm sure.
Just at home alone.
Yeah.
Thinking about it. Telling your roommates, hey guys, what'd you have for dinner?
That's a good one. They're like, what? How do you do that? I'm like, here, I'll show you. And I just...
No, don't go killing your roommates. The other is you got to pick up their share of the rent.
True. And I got to pick up their mess.
Yeah, gross. There's poop all over the place. Well, we get more walking, and he picks up his axe again.
Yeah. Keeps good track of his items.
Mm-hmm. Then we hear an argument off in the distance with some of the non-characters. Apparently, two of them have found, I'm guessing, the gal in the lake.
Yeah.
And they're concerned. They're like, something's going on here. This is where we hear about the picture, too.
Mm-hmm.
So they know something's up. It's the couple.
Mm-hmm.
And the one guy's like, yeah, whatever. I don't think we should get any help. Let's just have fun and party or whatever. And then, he takes the keys and tosses them into the woods.
And they land right at Johnny's feet too.
Yeah,
which is
which
great.
is hilarious. And but on the keychain, there's like a little car on it.
Yeah, a little toy car. Like from the story.
Yeah. So Johnny picks it up and just takes a little sit down puts the axe down, sits down by a tree, and is just playing with the little car. He's just into it. So that's little interesting tidbit there. Of like, so
some
parts of the
character
story
building.
is true, and you get to see him, and he takes the mask off too,
Mm-hmm.
and he's just all messed up under that.
Yeah, it's the
mask.
one time you get to see his face.
Like close up anyway.
Right.
His eyes are all like milky looking.
His lips are all rotten away. Yeah, he looks awesome.
It's a good makeup.
Definitely.
There's like some expression too with his brows.
Yeah.
Like that gets to come through. So that's a nice job. Good job on the makeup. But yeah, that guy ends up walking towards Johnny. And Johnny's just oblivious to him. And it's kind of funny that he doesn't notice him behind the tree. But I guess sometimes if you're just not looking for something. But he does find that axe. And he leaves with it because he knows something's up. Okay, what about this? And they're like, there's stuff like that all over the place out here. Which I guess maybe there is. It's an old
Kind of
logging.
true, but
It was a logging community.
I don't know. Like my hometown was literally a logging community. I didn't find any random axes in the woods.
0 axes.
Yeah. Otherwise, Lord knows I would have played with it.
Yeah, so that douchebag guy goes inside. And Johnny sets up a little scenario here. I like this. Where he like takes like a stick and he just like lodges it in the steering wheel so the horn's going off in this vehicle.
Mm-hmm.
And then he just starts walking around the house. And then there's a nobody guy inside. Did you see him?
Yep. Yeah, in one of the windows, he like sees him walk past.
Yeah. It's kind of subtle. Like
Yeah.
I could see missing it. Then the douchebag guy comes outside and starts antagonizing because he knows something's going on.
Mhm.
He pulls the stick out from the horn and he ends up like, they kind of get into a little tussle there. And
It was impressive because Johnny takes a swing at him and dude turns around with the axe and blocks it. That was quick thinking. But he still gets an axe to the leg.
which, oof,
Yeah.
that does not seem fun.
No.
But then the guy who was inside comes out and takes a shot
Blast him.
and he shoots Johnny.
So Johnny's definitely dead because he got shot. So the movie's over.
Yeah. And no, these guys are like, let's get out of here.
Or good option.
So the one guy like has problems even just trying to get up,
Mm-hmm.
and they just kind of hobble off. And they make a decent amount of distance, but Johnny gets up, grabs that axe, and just gives a good toss. You don't get to see it really happen though.
It was a good throw, apparently.
Yeah, because he definitely got the gun guy in the back of the head with that axe.
Mm-hmm.
Then the douchebag guy, well, he gets a rocky finish.
No.
Because Johnny picks up a big old rock and just drops it on his head. That's a good cut too.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you see the guy moving around.
Yeah, moving, talking, and then splat. Yeah, that was really great. The special effects, really awesome.
Yeah. Definitely. Just watch it for the effects even. It's
Honestly.
fun.
Honestly.
But the ATV couple shows up and oh no. The lady has the locket.
What a fool.
Yep. They see what's happening and they escape. Then, well, Johnny takes another walk to the ranger station. And the ranger is there talking to the couple. And turns out Johnny just walks right into the light. It's nighttime.
Mm-hmm.
And he just walks right into the light. And the ranger sees him. And sounds like they've got some history together.
Yeah. It's like apparently 10 years ago, Johnny was unleashed. And this ranger guy put a stop to him.
Mm-hmm.
Was able to lock him away again at that fire tower.
Yeah, because he was telling the couple, too, that that's the only ground that he'll stay in.
Mm-hmm.
And he needs to be buried there and the locket needs to be nearby.
Right.
Because that's the only thing his only connection to his mother. It'll calm him down.
I like how the ranger's like, where'd you get that locket? Where'd you get that locket? Starts freaking out. Well, apparently this ranger dude's dad also, his dad was the one survivor from the original attack way back in the day.
Yeah, and they ask about the story and he says well, it was mostly true.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the fact that we are in a sequel.
That's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, wow, this is definitely the sequel.
Yeah, it's like hopping into a slasher series, but you don't watch any of the first ones. You just catch it in part 4 or something.
Right.
That's where you're at in this movie. And it's fun.
Oh, it's so fun.
The ranger gets a shot off at Johnny, knocks him down, and he says, bullets won't kill him. They just slow him down.
I still would have unloaded a clip right into his face.
I mean, why not?
Yeah.
But that's the luxury we have as viewers.
Definitely that.
We just go, we would do this and that and the other thing.
Yeah.
And I love this shot here too, because it's Johnny laying on the ground. And you only see legs. And the rangers you see the barrel of the gun too, pointed at Johnny. And he tells the guys, go get the chains. We got to chain him up. And the guy comes back with the chains, wrap them around his legs first. And the guy's like, I can't. And so then the ranger's like, all right, put the chains down here. And I'm going to give you the gun on the count of 3. And it does not work out.
No.
This whole exchange does not work.
No.
Johnny just grabs the barrel of the gun and the shot completely misses. And what does the couple just takes off at this point, right? Don't they just yeet out of there?
Yeah, well, the dude also was just like, run, go, 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 run.
And Johnny just takes the ranger and bends him the wrong way and breaks his spine.
Yeah,
paralyzing
paralyzes
him.
him.
And oof, Brennan, I'll let you take care of this.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you get all the fun kills.
Yeah, I do. Well, he takes Mr. Ranger Man, Mr. Tough Guy, and drags him over to whatever little workshop they got at the ranger station. Mind you, the ranger is paralyzed, so he can't move, but he can see his eyes moving around and stuff. He drags him into this room where they have this hydraulic wood cutter. So it's just this little slanted machine with an axe head with a piston that just slowly slides down. And he even demonstrates it right in front of the ranger by putting a log in there. And the little axe slowly comes down, chops the log in half, slowly gets drawn back up. So Johnny takes the dude's arm first, puts it in the machine, and makes him watch as he slowly chops it off. And I mean slowly. This scene takes a minute because they give you the full time of him holding down the hydraulic, the thing extending, him pulling it all the way back. It's one shot basically.
Yeah, you're watching it in real time.
Real time. And then thankfully puts out the dude's misery by putting his head in the thing and just cuts his head clean off from the neck.
That was good too, because that's another case of you see his eyes moving.
You see his
around.
eyes moving, you see him breathing. Yeah. I was sitting there how did they do this? Is it an animatronic? Is that a really good dummy with blinking eyes?
Here's the thing, I don't want to know.
Yeah.
I don't think they killed that man.
Sure did look like they did.
And so this brings up an important part of the story, though, is that, I mean, granted, yes, he's getting revenge for having been buried previously. Clearly did not appreciate that.
Yeah.
And I love the mundaneness of this scene because it does two things. Like, you get the cruelty of it, but you also get just the mundane nature of Johnny. This is where I got it the first time I watched this, of the walking scenes and everything else. It's just he just wants that locket. That's it.
Yeah.
And now it's become work. It's like it's a whole lot of like point A to point B. He's just walking everywhere. It's I'm just gonna drag him up on here, and like, you made me go through extra stuff. Now I'm taking it out on you.
Yeah, right.
It's a boring job.
There is personality to him.
But Johnny's on a night walk after that, and then we get some taunting from the couple in the woods. And that he's just like walking a little bit more, right? But then like he walks past them, and they're clearly trying to set up some type of ambush, a trap, like a bear trap, and a can of gas.
Pretty smart.
But they completely bumble all of this because they're too freaked out to do anything.
And they're too loud.
Way too loud. Like, they're trying to whisper, and he can, you can totally hear them. Because they're in the woods. It's quiet.
Yeah.
It's night. And their voices are carrying. And they're like kind of arguing about like what they should do.
Right. And the dude's like, I'll distract him. So some silence goes by, and then dude just appears behind Johnny and is like, hey Johnny, or whatever, starts just like trash talking him. Johnny, in like one motion, turns around and just plants his axe right in the dude's face, and then proceeds to just wail on him
way too much. Because here's the thing, you know how I said it's like a boring job?
Yeah.
He's had enough at this point.
Oh yeah.
He's over it. He's just done. He's done with all this like bullshit of like having to kill all these people, because he's always constantly like checking their bodies to see if they have the locket. And, you know, it's like flashing back to like, oh, this guy had it, but then he doesn't. And I just want it. I'm just so over this. But the locket girl, I'm going to put down this trap. I'm going to put down this gas can, and I'm definitely taking off this locket. And just puts it on the gas can, walks away, and then just starts running.
Super smart.
And now the kind of shifts at this point, the perspective, because now we're just with Final Girl. And that's kind of why I wanted to call her girl, because the Final Girl trope.
Right.
And it's a whole lot of just her running at night through the woods. And the forest can be scary at night.
Definitely.
And now, what normally was quiet, even just earlier in the movie, all those sounds are intensified. It's just bugs and critters, breeziness, and it's just loud.
I think they also threw in some of the sound effects of like his walking, or him like slamming the dude's head.
Oh, like the squishy sounds?
Yeah, they threw it in a little bit.
Yeah. And that could be like her...
Right. Remembering, freaking
out.
out. Yeah.
We just get her in the morning, and we don't know what happened, but she's just got a big old stick sticking out of her leg. That's something you throw on like after the kindling. Like, now we're going to get this fire going a little bit more before we put a proper log on.
Right.
Like, that's a big stick.
Yeah, that looked like it hurt.
But she pulls it out, wanders around a little bit more, and then, hey, a road. She follows the road. Hey, a bigger road. Maybe I'll just stand in the middle of it and just kind of walk.
Not a bad idea.
Really not. Then a truck pulls up. And it's a woman driving who decides to help her because She's a good citizen.
Right. Good person.
And this is just where it gets awkward. 'Cause what do you say? This final girl's not talking.
No, she's all in shock, all dazed.
And the woman's really just pressing her for answers. And the thing about this woman, though, and I brought her up earlier, mentioning the credits, she's in Friday the 13th Part 2.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know that the first times I've watched this, because I didn't really bother to look anybody up. But this time I was watching, I was like, she's got to be somebody.
Yeah.
She's got to be somebody from another slasher movie.
That's cool.
And Friday the 13th Part 2, best Friday the 13th.
You know, I've actually never seen it.
No?
Mm-mm.
It's my favorite. And it's not even hockey mask, Jason.
Yeah.
It's a sackhead.
Yeah. I do need to check that out.
Highly recommend it. But we don't do big like franchises on Summer Slasher Camp. Otherwise it would take forever.
Yeah, it's more fun to go milling around in the woods, getting a big old wood hook in your back or something and getting ripped apart. Maybe turn into some twisted art piece.
Getting dragged out in the woods, being like, yeah, this movie's awesome.
Yeah.
So during their conversation, the woman pries the final girl to find out like what happened. And she just says it was an animal, which
Fair.
to some degree, not lying. And then the woman talks about a game warden she knew who was involved in a bear attack, which is a crazy story.
Crazy story.
I'd play a clip, but it's a little too long.
Oh, she rambles.
Yeah. But it's pretty interesting though.
Yeah.
Hear about this bear attack. And just how like some animals just start killing.
Yeah, they go a little crazy for some reason or another. They just kill for fun.
But then final girl, she just starts getting sleepy, and that's dangerous because she's bleeding out everywhere.
Right.
And the lady's like, "Oh no, whoa, we gotta stop! Like I gotta do something, otherwise we're gonna lose you." And I really like the tension of this part because the girl wakes up and she's like, "Why are you stopping?"
Yeah.
And she's gonna put like a tourniquet, like use her belt to cut off the bleeding, and out the view from inside the truck, and you can't see the woman because she's working on the leg, and you're just looking out into the woods.
Oh yeah, you're like her. You're like her, where you're staring in the woods like, is he out there?
Well, you thought he was gonna be in the back of the truck.
I made the joke that look at the back. He's in the back of the car.
But then this, like the stopping,
Yeah.
it's tense because you're just like,
Because he could. You don't know.
and that's what I like about this part though, is because she's clearly traumatized,
Oh yeah.
and you're kind of you're feeling that
Yeah.
intensity, although you don't get to know her. And then it just cuts to scenes of tranquil nature. Like here's some mist. Misty fog over a lake in the morning.
Beautiful.
Things like that.
Man, filming this must have been amazing because like got like this murderer guy, he's all bloody, and you have these special effects that you're gonna shoot, all his gore and stuff. And then you just kind of look around and it's just the most beautiful nature. Or just, oh, today we are getting more shots of you just walking through this field.
Yeah,
Very atmospheric.
it really is. I mean, that's to the point. So let's wrap this movie up. The movie ends with a slow pan past the trap over to the gas can where the locket is no longer there. And that is the end of the movie.
Well,
So you want me to go on my rant now? Or should I do it after I give my rating?
go on your rant and then end with.
Okay, so my rant is, when it comes to slasher movies, especially the franchise ones, who's the star of those movies?
It's always the killer.
Everybody loves the killers, right? That's what they're known for. The other characters in general, I mean, there tends to be returning characters a lot of the times. Generally, they're just like replaceable.
Oh yeah.
New movie, you got to have new people come in. Over the years, they've developed these different archetypes of, different characters. Like, this is kind of the wacky jokester guy. This is the pothead.
Here's the jockey dude.
Right. And, the whole thing with the final girl, even.
Mean girl. There's always got to be a mean girl.
Things like that, yes. And so what happens is that you have these iconic killers. And a lot of the times, and I know I've heard it from people, especially, you've got some really shitty opinions online.
Oh, definitely.
And very shitty perspectives.
Absolutely.
And I have seen it where people are like, I don't care about these people in movies, and I just want to see the killer. Like, I want the killer, blah, blah, blah. Why do I got to waste time? These characters are so annoying. This movie gives you that, right? And in a very deconstructive way, where they're like, all right, what if we do it this way? What if we follow the killer and see what they're up to? How do things go for them? And honestly, this is taking a lot from Friday the 13th. And the way it kind of plays out in the woods, undead.
Yeah.
Unstoppable killer, right? So it's definitely a play on Jason Voorhees. And it turns out when you do that, they're not really interesting. You get bits and pieces here and there. This movie gave you pieces for Johnny, but you don't really get much. But you get enough. And you get sprinklings of these pretty people who are dead meat, but you don't get enough. Like, it's a lot more enjoyable when you get to know them. It takes away from other stuff. The killer walking from point A to point B, and I think that is the point of this movie, is letting you know this is what's happening when you're not watching them.
Yeah. That's how it felt. I was thinking, like, I can see the other horror movie in this. I can see the other horror movie where we've been following all these characters. We get introduced to Sheriff Guy right away, and maybe we see the killer standing in the background or in the photo. Like, there's a whole movie where it plays totally like a normal slasher movie. But yeah, like you said, instead of those scenes where we're with those characters, we're with the killer instead. And what is he doing? Most of the time, just walking. So
right, yeah, you would have gotten that whole scenario about the girls at the gas station.
Yeah,
that's a whole scene.
Absolutely,
developing these other characters who probably wouldn't be written super deep or anything. Very surface level, one-dimensional type of characters, but you kind of need that to make these things work. For, say, a general audience. I know what this movie is doing, and I get it. Yeah. But a lot of people did not get it.
Lame.
And they complained, and they said, this movie's so boring, it's a bunch of walking. And you can just watch a movie and enjoy it, and that's fine. You can surface level watch any movie, that's totally fun. But this is something like you kind of have to get it. Otherwise, you're not going to enjoy this.
Yeah, I agree. It's just the perfect, like, subversion of the slasher genre and tropes.
You have two options in the modern time because these movies are so well established. You can either go out and you can just do a traditional slasher and it's fun. You go in, all the things happen, you have a fun time. Or you try to mix it up a little bit. And this goes way back even to Scream, which is crazy to think about because that movie is going to be like 30 years. We're out from that.
Dang.
We're that far away from Scream going, we're going to mess with the genre because it's too everybody knows. It becomes self-aware at that point.
Yeah.
You know? And it's interesting because now we're this far out and there's tons of people who have grown up with all these movies, going out, making movies, trying different things once in a while. And it's just kind of sad when something like this just gets dismissed.
Yeah.
You got what you wanted, and now you're unhappy about it because it turns out the thing that you probably liked the whole time and you didn't realize are the shitty, dumb characters you just want to see die.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. This movie is very interesting.
Yes. So, on that note, hey, guess what? I think it's a movie.
Hey, there's the rating.
Questionable film. It's borderlining on film.
Okay, yeah.
Because it is just more that subtlety of it all. It's beautiful to look at. It really is.
It's gorgeous.
I think this is a great looking movie.
Yeah.
That said, yes, I do recommend this movie. How does it hold up to my slasher trope checklist? So we each have our own checklist. There's 5 criteria we have determined that makes a slasher. So I'll start with mine here. My number 1, edged weapon kill.
Definitely.
At least one.
Oh, more than one.
Sometimes you got to mix it up. It's definitely in this movie. The stalking, hunting of victims definitely happens in this because you're following him the whole time. You're watching it.
You watch him do it.
And guess what? When you watch it, you're complicit. Peekaboo Corpse does not happen in this. It sounds like it might happen based off a conversation, but there's not.
You don't see the scene of it.
No. So that one doesn't get checked off. Vice kill, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. Yoga, don't do yoga. It's terrible for you.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, why would you go and do yoga? It's just going to get you murdered. Now, it's unfortunate that the guy smoking weed in the woods got killed because talk about getting in with nature there.
He's just trying to chillax.
Yeah, jeez. Now, speaking of that, like his Walkman getting unplugged, like the headphones, and then the batteries wear out because you could hear it.
Yeah.
I've never had a cassette tape player that just went to speaker if you unplugged your headphones, but it's a fun thing.
It is fun. Yeah, and of course it had to get all slowed down and creepy.
Last one here. Body count of at least 2 victims. Definitely. Why do I say 2 victims? Because of the stupid movie The Clown Murders where there was only 1 killing in it.
It's so lame.
But yeah, I figure like some slashers don't have a high body count. This one, pretty good. Okay, Brennan, how about you?
All right. My first. 3 or more kills. Yes. I say 3 just because I feel like if I went into a movie thinking it would be a slasher and I only saw 2 people die, I would be disappointed. An emphasis on kills, there certainly is. Especially with scenes where they take their time on the kills. Yes. Killer is hunting prey. Absolutely. Totally happening. Main group of people being hunted. Definitely that too. Definitely that. All those party goers. And my last one there is a gimmick. Which I guess for this movie, you could say that the gimmick is that we follow the killer. But that isn't really a gimmick necessarily about the killer themselves.
Would the gimmick also be the fact that he like wears the mask?
The mask,
the chains,
kind of. I think like the chains, that weapon, that's a unique weapon. I'd probably give that the gimmick stamp. But either way, more than made the list for slasher.
Well, it's an official slasher.
Yeah, I'd hope so.
According to Corrupted Youth Podcast.
Yeah. Oh, and movie. This is a movie. This is a movie. I did really enjoy it. It was a lot of fun. It was shot amazing. I liked the lack of a soundtrack at all. No music. But I didn't even really notice. Like, it wasn't like it was needed. Yeah, just really fun. I loved the twist. I loved following the killer. Super fun. I loved the atmosphere. how long shots would just drag on for. I love that in a movie when it's done well. And
There's wide shots too happening.
Yeah. Just listening to all the sounds. I mean, the sound design too. That has to be on point for the atmosphere to really sell. I would recommend it too. I would definitely recommend this movie. I mean, well, it might not be as engaging as like a normal slasher movie might be. It still has everything that you want, which is people getting murdered in fun and interesting ways, and that sort of thing. So, yeah, no, really good time with this one. Really, really good time.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. I know you can tolerate a slow burn.
Oh, I love good slow burns.
And subtlety, but
when it's done right.
I could see like, hey, listen, like I know I rambled on earlier about people not liking this because it's boring or whatever, but I do understand not everybody has that tolerance for it, but you should know going into this movie, that's what you're gonna get.
It's also not a long movie.
No, it's under 2 hours for sure.
Yeah. So that's
I think it's like an hour or 40 minutes. I think honestly, like if you were to even say trim it down 10 minutes, trim it down by 10 minutes. I mean, as the walking scenes happen, they kind of get shorter as it goes along.
Yeah.
Because you kind of get the point. But I think even just trimming it down a little bit more would probably make it way more accessible to people.
I agree.
But
I think it would also lose a little bit of its fun, you know?
Yeah. You know, honestly, I think if I had watched that version first, I'd probably go, could have used a little more of them walking scenes. I like it. It just sets it up.
Yeah.
You know, it just really gets you in the mood for it. Makes you kind of want to go into the woods and stalk some party people.
Absolutely. Yeah.
It makes me think of, I wonder if it's because you and I worked at a haunted house where essentially we are like the villains in that scenario.
Yeah, we are playing that
we are
role.
there.
Yeah.
And whether they realize we're going to do the thing or not, we always try to like subvert it in some way. Like if they think I'm here, I'll wait even just like a second or two longer to just
let the guard down.
Yes.
Yeah. Just anything you can do to mix it up just enough.
What kind of intensity am I going to bring to this? Is it going to be more effective knowing who the victims are when they come in? Is it more effective to be subtly creepy or just balls out wild?
My favorite is when I was underneath that table for a couple years there, and people would have to walk all the way around 3 sides of the table. So I had a lot of time where I can mess with them. And it was great just like singling out one person, just like pressing their shin a little. Like, guys, something just touched my leg. And they're like, nah. Everyone starts to dismiss them. And then you do it again to them, start making them think they're crazy or something.
It's a weird feeling to be in complete darkness.
Yeah.
And knowing that that's your thing. You know what? Like, I work in a haunted house. If you have any weird feelings of like you just want to be creepy, because it gets like, I don't know, like you get that weird sensation and that thrill of it, but like, I don't know. You don't end up on a true crime documentary.
Yeah, people, that's what they're going in for.
Yes, and it's fun.
Yeah.
We're all willing
Everyone's
participants.
having fun.
So only do it if everyone's a willing participant.
I miss it.
I do too. All right. Well, I got something to think about as I lay in bed at night.
Now I got something to think about as I wander through the woods at night.
Just gonna hang out behind this bush.
I'd probably just be wandering around looking for like my lost Godzilla toy or something. Murdering anybody who doesn't have it.
Well, on that note, you could let us know on Blue Sky whatever your motivation to be an undead, unstoppable killing machine would be. And we're at Corrupted Youth Pod on there. And so if you don't want to be on Blue Sky, you can also send us an email And our email address, Brennan?
corruptedyouthpod@gmail.com.
That's right. That would be it. Please rate and review. Like, we want to know how we're doing, right?
Yeah,
I
let
mean,
us know.
that'd be nice once in a while. You know what else would be nice once in a while? Buy a freaking t-shirt.
Yeah, or a mug, or some stickers.
Yeah. We got tons of stuff. All sorts of weird designs I've made over the years.
Can I get it on a phone case?
You can get it on a phone case, Brennan.
What?
I know. It's super weird.
What?
I make enough money to pay for my Photoshop.
Yeah, let's go.
But yeah, that's at our T-Public store. Or, yeah, I guess. Whatever. I'm just getting mushed mouth now. Hey.
Thank you to our fellow podcasters, too.
Yeah. Especially everybody at Cinema Psyops. Wishing you the best again. Go check those guys out. They're fantastic. Over 10 years of podcasts.
Wow.
Over 500 episodes. They've never missed a single week. That's why I'm helping out. The streak cannot die.
It cannot die. No.
No. So thanks to our listeners. That's you.
That's you guys, the dongles.
The dongles. Yay. Hey, dongles. We love you guys. So yeah, hang in there, dongles.
Bye.
Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth! Corrupted youth!
Bloody horror.